Man, there's so many fights this weekend, man. Isaac
Yeah.
Pitbull Cruz versus Angel Fierro. And we all saw the first fight. We all saw that was one of the fights of the year. Bang out, shootout, sweet science out the window. It's just a Mexican tough man competition. Expect the same again. And honestly, man, I thought Pitbull might have lost that fight. Fierro might be a bad style matchup for him. And here they are again, giving the people what they want. So you cannot be mad at that fight being on any undercard because you will be entertained, and the Mexican fans in attendance will be as well. And that's on a Pacquiao card with Fedora. I mean, come on, man. It's just gonna be banger after banger. Speaking about Sebastian Fedora, Tim Zoo. Yo, this is another one that you got to do your homework on, man. This is another fight that you got to do your homework on. So many variables. You got Tim Zoo, who was a wrecking machine, and not because he's tremendously skilled, but because he was hungry, he was tough, and he was active. Remember, activity is the fighter's best friend. Inactivity is the fighter's worst enemy. And Tim Zoo was active, and he was taking on all comers. So much so that sometimes you get a little too happy, and you say, "Yeah, you don't even know who you fighting." He fought Akhmadaliev, I'm sorry, Murzaliev, Bakram, and he got dismantled. I mean, he got, he left. That was just a jaw, a mouth. Just everyone's mouth was open to see that kind of destruction of an active, tough, good fighter that was really doing very well for himself. We saw him lose the first Fedora fight, but we know there were special circumstances in that fight, as they are in life. It is what it is. When you have that kind of cut and that kind of blood, I don't care who you are, that's blood coming in your eyes. That shit is hot, burning your eyes. And he at no point did he say, "Yo, I can't see." Like he just showed that Australian dog. They eat raw meat and shit, and crocodiles and all that. And he showed it that that's what they like. He didn't care. And he lost a fight that was close, competitive. So you take that away, and people say he was winning the fight. So look, I think Tim Zoo. I don't think he has more tools than Fedor, but I think he's a higher quality fighter because I just see a little more raw talent, like power, speed, explosiveness. You know, Fedor is the more school fighter, the better boxer. He showed in that first fight with Zoo that he can use his range, something that we've been wanting him to do, and he hadn't up until that fight. But he did in that fight. Now, was it easier for him to use his range because of the guy in front of him was impaired? And let's keep it wasn't a punch, guys. This shit happened with an elbow. Shit happened with an elbow because you can go, "Oh, it's box. This shit happened." All right, but this shit didn't happen with a punch. It happened with an elbow. So it didn't happen legally. Happened by accident, but still not legally. So look, I'm gonna go. It's tough, man, because I did the knockout. How much did the knockout affect Zoo? You know, is he the same fighter? We don't know. I think he looked good against his last opponent, who was it that he fought? Joey Spencer.
Yeah.
Not a world beater, but a guy that's been around the block. Seasoned guy, and he dismissed him. As he should. So it looks like he's still the Tim Zoo that we've seen before. Maybe better, maybe hungrier, maybe more careful. But I don't think he has to be that careful against Fedor because Fedor is not a knockout puncher. He's an accumulative knockout puncher. If you let him punch and punch on you, he can do it. But I think, man, it's tough. But I'm gonna go with Zoo, man. I think he's gonna get that lick back.
Yeah. So yeah, good man. You're right, man. I mean those two fights right there, man. Those are a fight fan's dream kind of fight. You know, the Fierro Pitbull Cruz, man. This fight is all gas, no brakes kind of fight. These guys only fight one way. This is like two express trains going at each other at full speed. And on top of that, I'm gonna go. This fight is gonna end in a knockout. I'm going stoppage. Someone is getting stopped in this fight, man. And I'm so conflicted in this fight, bro. I really don't know which way to lean on. And I'll be 100% honest. Going into the first fight, I picked Pitbull. I said he's gonna win, and he's gonna win by stoppage. And yes, you can make a serious claim that Fierro won that first fight. And stylistically, like you said, this just might be a bad matchup for Pitbull. That's all it is. So, you know what? I think Fierro's coming in this fight more confident. I think he has something to prove because I still think that, his name is not being spoken about enough. Everyone know who Pitbull Cruz is in the boxing circle. So, but it obviously it could go either way. It's not like he gonna smoke Pitbull. I think it's gonna be highly competitive from the first second to the fight gets stopped. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out, man, on my shield on this one and say that Fierro not only beats Pitbull, but he stops him. Call me crazy, man, and it's gonna be late. And if not, he's gonna drop him. This shit is, oh man, this is probably one of the fights or the fight I'm looking forward to most this coming weekend. And then, man, Tim Tszyu, Fundora, exactly. You
Uh,
broke it
I,
down.
I didn't break the Fierro
Yeah,
Pitbull fight down, but yo, I don't know who's gonna win that fight, man. That's a toss up. I don't
it's
know
tough. It is.
because
It is.
can Fierro duplicate that performance? Is he just the Mexican they called up and said, yo, you want some money, and he looked good in that fight? Or is he hungry and a real fighter like Pitbull? He's a real fighter, Pitbull. This is what he does. Um, so it's gonna come down to that, man. I think if Fierro does his homework, he wins. But if Fierro's like in there, like, yo, I'm getting another payday, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go in there and do what I did the first time. Then I don't know who wins that fight, man. I do not know. But I think if I had to pick, then it is. Then I think Pitbull's gonna do his homework, and I think he'll do better this time.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely tough to pick, like you said, man. That's why I'm just so conflicted. But I'm gonna go with Fierro, man. I think he understands that big paydays are ahead if he could beat Pitbull. Now, Fundora Tszyu, we saw the first fight. Like you mentioned, Tszyu was working that jab. He was every time he threw it, he was popping Fundora's head back. A lot of people were saying before the cut that not that they felt, they were saying that he was going to stop Fundora in that fight if it wasn't for the cut. Possibly. I'm not gonna sit here and say no, but the knockout, right? How much is that going to play a part in this fight? Yes, he cooked Joey Spence. I mean, Tim Tszyu still has some in the tank, but he going up against probably one of the most active fighters in all of boxing, and Sebastian Fundora, man, the prey mantis. This guy throws close to 100 punches around, man. He overwhelms you with volume, and he outwork you, work you, work you. But that wasn't the game plan in the first fight. He did use his attributes. And what's that? His height and his jab. Is he going to use that in this fight? I suggest that he does. But I will mix it up because I want to see how much he has in his tank. This ain't the same Tim dude that they fought the first time. I think that maybe by the second, third round, I'm gonna get in his kitchen and see why he working with, why he cooking in here. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it's too hot in here. Let me go back to the living room. But if he go up in his kitchen and like, yo, it ain't really that hot in here, then fuck it. Do what you gotta do. But this is another one, man. It's just tough to pick. Um, I think the obvious choice is Tim Tszyu, right? I think the safe bet is Tim Tszyu in this, but I'm gonna go Fundora, man. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna go Fundora. I think Fundora gets it done, man. He finds a way. But look, man, I'm gonna say this though: if someone is gonna get knocked out, it's gonna be Fundora. It won't be Tim Zoo. So I'm gonna go. I think Fundora is gonna mix it up. He's gonna stay away, and we'll see how effective Tim Zoo's jab is in this fight this time around. But should be a hell of a fucking fight, man. Oh man. So yeah, but these are those two fights. Yo, bro, it's just you can't go wrong with either fighter. And these two fights with Fundora Zoo or with Fierro Pitbull, bro, because it's just these guys are gonna fight close, tough fight. But I'm going Fundora by decision.
All right, man. Moving on to the great, once in a lifetime, all time great boxing legend, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. I know you're not big on this fight. You didn't like it, but it's it's Manny Pacquiao, man. So just that that excitement of knowing that we're still gonna be able to watch this great fight again. And usually when it comes to somebody being 46 years old in boxing, there's no way you should have been done. You should have been done. It's over. But there have been exceptions. And it has been done by other greats. Bernard Hopkins, and George Foreman. And yes, I think Manny is cut from that cloth. I think that he's physically different than most people, than most athletes. Um, and he can do it. And I think that the fighter that he's fighting is the perfect champion to come back against and pick up a belt from. Great, great kid, great guy, Mario Barrios. I think calling him solid, in my opinion, would be a compliment. I don't think he's a good fighter whatsoever. I think he's tough. Anybody can be tough. Paulie was tough. He got his ass with plenty of times, and he was no Paulie Maldonado. He was no good. He was just an opponent for somebody that was good. And he got one hand couldn't punch with that one hand he had. If Manny Pacquiao looks like he does in training, he gonna knock Mario Barrios block off. Now, does that correlate to the fight? How someone looks in training? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's not the same, hitting the pads for 3 minutes than 12 rounds against a younger, bigger, active fighter. 46. I shouldn't have a prediction for this fight with a guy being 46 because you just don't know. Just don't know. 46 is almost 50. You just don't know. But it is Manny Pacquiao, and if I'm going to be proved wrong, if I'm going to, then I'll do it with Manny Pacquiao because I'm going with Manny Pacquiao, and I'm going with Manny Pacquiao by whatever via you possible decision, knockout, or dropping Barrios a couple times and winning the victory over 12 rounds. I'm going with Manny Pacquiao, and that's the risk that even though he's 46, I'm willing to take.
Okay. Yeah, like you mentioned, man, I'm still not excited for this fight. But yes, Manny is a legend. He's an all-time great. He's an all-time great, man. You're talking about probably the most electric fighter I've watched in all of boxing. I'm just talking about me. Everybody has their own fighters, and I'm not
Yeah, like
talking
you mean you
even
mean you mean like our generation because we
yeah,
we yeah.
in our generation. I know people, oh, but Roy Jones, all right, bro. Again, I'm talking about me. Me. And mind you, I wasn't I was a fan of Pacquiao, but he was never my favorite fighter. Cotto was my favorite fighter, which he demolished, by the way. He fucked Cotto up. But I get it. Is that, shit, Pacquiao? Okay, right? Because in the back of our mind, what are we thinking? We're thinking vintage Pacquiao. That's what we're thinking. And yes, he could be in shape. He could look good, six pack, rip, cool. That doesn't mean it's gonna it's gonna transition into the ring, right? Or maybe it does. It could definitely go either way. Barrios, we know how you feel about him. To me, he is a solid fighter. I'm just, even in his losses, he didn't, he was beaten tanked, so he got stopped. He got outboxed by Keith Thurman, who's a future Hall of Famer. So it's not like he's just getting beat by bums. But he's still a middle of the pack fighter. I'm not, hell, he's far from special. He's far from elite. I would never mention him in the sentence, those words in the same sentence with Barrio. But he is the younger fighter. Um, how do how does Barrio beat Pacquiao? Right. Let's start with that. He's gonna have to use his jab, which is his best asset, is his jab. And he has a very good one. And he's long. Now, Pacquiao, the bounce, very bouncy, he's very twitchy, and he's no one
But the thing is, can he still do that? That's the thing, right?
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
we don't know.
better, but that's what Manny's gonna do, regardless. The question is he gonna do it on a level of 10, mean great, or he gonna do it on a level of 4-3, where
Yeah,
you're
but
like, damn, bro.
before he could do it all night. Now he probably can't.
That's what I'm saying. So that's another thing. We mentioned it. Activity. I don't care how great you are. 4 years off. It's a lot of fucking years, man. Being off. It's a lot of years. I get it. If there's one guy that can do it, it is Pacquiao. Based on what we know, based on what he has done, yes. But
No, and based on his physical talent that he still has, you can see it.
yeah. But yeah, again, punch in the bag and all that. You got to do it in the ring. We haven't seen it in 4 years. It's been a long time. And even in that exhibition he had, this dude was tagging him up. But anyway, that's besides the point.
I mean the I'm sorry, I hit a button by mistake.
No,
I said
no, it's all right.
we can still see that he has explosiveness and you know
But
and some of the speed and the power, but we got to see it in the ring. And when it comes to fighters with so much experience, inactivity can actually be a benefit because they already have the experience. Now the inactivity is just rest. We seen Sugar Ray Leonard come back after 3 years and beat Marvin Hagler. So Manny's cut from that cloth.
yeah, I mean, again,
And Mario Barrios ain't no Marvin Hagler.
no. I
But
mean,
but but Sugar wasn't 46 years old either.
yeah. See, and that's the thing, man. It's a lot of, it's just a lot to consider for Pacquiao going into this fight, right? Because even if
Well, go ahead.
no, because the age, the inactivity, and don't get me wrong, Pacquiao been in fucking wars. Yes, the rest can help, right? No doubt. But them scars don't go away, man. Once your body, once you in there, you know. But I think if
Bro, like you said before, you said it before. You use it all the time. Bernard Hopkins used it. What did Bernard Hopkins call himself at the end of his career?
the alien,
That Manny Pacquiao not from this planet, man.
yeah,
And,
but
and and we had a lot of fighters that like you say, Area 51.
yeah,
Manny been living there for like 20 years. You know what I
no,
mean? He he he
he
he
was
got he got
definitely,
he got a little shack there. But who live in that shack? Oh, that's that old alien that live in there. You want to go in there and mess with him?
yeah.
That's Manny, man.
No, facts. Those are facts. But see what Hopkins though, he was active, overactive, But look, regardless, Like I said, I'm not excited for this fight, but I am intrigued. Like, let's see what he's gonna do. You understand? Because as much as I like
Now,
Pacquiao,
now, what? Now,
I,
would you be excited during the fight if you see Vince Pac and Pac knock his block off?
no, I mean, who wouldn't be? Who
Yo,
wouldn't be? Like, of course. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, if he go in there, ba, 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 oh shit, that motherfucker looked like when he cooked Toto or when he knocked out hand shit. Then that motherfucker, he went back in the lab and they put something in him, man, because
I think it's the opponent too. And also let's not get crazy, like you said before, and that's another thing that you have to consider. No, he beat shit out of both. No, bring on Brian Norman. Like, hold on, wait.
no,
You know what I mean? Let the nigga, you know what I mean? Like, come back, beat him if you beat him, then assess. You right off, I say right off in the sunset if you pick up this, right off into the sunset if you pick up this championship. But knowing Manny, how competitive he is, he won't. He'll probably take on somebody else. And that's when where fighters and athletes mess up. They never want to let go.
yes, and that's again, and that's one of my points, right? Let's say he does beat Barrios, right? And even whoop his ass. Not a close fight. You like, okay, man, he did it. It was a close, like, what? Oh my God, get bella. Bro, I'm sorry, you're gonna hear that. Not that I'm saying I'm gonna be yelling for Norman Pacquiao, but Pacquiao gonna knock Norman out. And you're gonna see stupid people even want him to go to 54 to fight dudes up there. I'm telling you, you're gonna hear that. Trust me. And it's just
Yeah,
like,
Manny, man. One thing Manny ain't is dumb.
no, no, no. We know that. We know that. But you know how fans are, bro. Like they just gonna want him to fight everybody if he the
Yeah, one fight at a time. But like you said, it's look, 46, fight to fight basis. I'm very, very excited to see him in the ring. This is what I'm most excited about because it's Manny Pacquiao. It's Manny Pacquiao, and I want to see what he can do because this kind of I hear people hating. Oh, why they let him skip the line? How you get a shot at shut the fuck up, bro. When you are this caliber of fighter and this caliber of draw, and you put on that work, when you got eight, when you were eight division champion, you could do that. You could do that.
yeah. Um
Yeah.
yeah, man, look. So it
But who you got at the
yeah,
end of the day?
yeah. So that's what I was gonna say, man. So we gotta pick. You gotta pick here because that's what we do. I'm gonna go let me see. Shit. I mean, look, man, it's tough, man, because I could see it both. I could see fucking Barrios just winning a real simple, basic fight where it's like, damn, Pacquiao just look old. He'll show some explosiveness, but very limited. And it's like, damn. Or, he goes in there and kind of outworks Barrios and gets the decision. So, again, I haven't seen him in 4 years. So that's why it's so hard to predict, man. But you just gotta go with the legend, man. You just gotta go with the legend and just hope he could turn back the hands of time on this one and do it again. So I'm gonna go Pacquiao decision. I don't see a stoppage here. Um, if he wins. Not saying he can't stop him, but I just don't see it. And you know, let the Pacquiao versus the whole boxing community start. And again, I'm not saying I'm
But
gonna be one of those.
Pacquiao is so great and so loved that one of his opponents who got demolished by him, Marco Antonio Barrera, he has a podcast and a show. He talks
Hall of
boxing.
Famer. Hall
Yeah,
of
of course. I
Famer.
mean, one of the best Mexican fighters to ever do it. And there's been a lot of great Mexican fighters. So there's a long list of great fighters that they have. And he said, um, honestly, I want Manny to win. I'm picking Manny, and I want Manny to win. I don't want to see him go out in the L. And I'm going to go with Manny. And for him to say that, a guy that got his ass whooped by Manny, They don't think like that because these guys have respect for each other, respect for the game. And him being Mexican, and Mario Barrios is of Mexican descent, and he's still not only picking Pacquiao to say, but he wants Pacquiao to win. That just lets you know the kind of respect that Pacquiao has in the boxing community, and from his peers and everybody. That even a guy that who he demolished, and maybe hurt his Mexican pride during that time. It just says, bro, I want nothing but the best. I want nothing but the best for Manny Pacquiao, and I want to see him go out on top. And like I said, Mars is a great dude, man. He's a great kid. He's the kind of guy, man. If you want as a son, man. You watch this young man, the way he carries himself in and outside the ring. He's just a great kid. But this is boxing. Boxing is a sport. It's a competition, and they're gonna compete. And I think if Manny has enough left, he should be able to get the job done.
Yeah, yeah. So
But
it,
again, I can also see him, like you said, looking good, and then what's wrong with him? Why he not throwing punches, bro? It's been like 3 rounds. He don't throw punches no more because that's what they say. And once you get old, they say you see the punches there, but you can't do it. You can't let it go. You can't pull the trigger no more. So that could happen to anybody because time has forgiven nobody. So let's see if Manny could do the what hasn't been done at
yeah,
welterweight.
I just feel, man, I just feel, you know, I just feel in this fight for Barrios, it's a lose lose for him. Because of course, if he beats Pacquiao, oh come on, bro, Pacquiao didn't fight in 4 years, duh. And then if he get cooked, you know what's gonna be, what people gonna say. So, that's another reason I like fights where both fighters.
I think with Manny, people they love him so much, they're just gonna be like, yo, he's that great, he's that special. If he be, I don't think they're gonna cut. I don't think they're gonna cut Barrios' ass up for that one.
So I think some people are, but we'll see, man. Look, like you said, it's true, man. Barrios is a fighter that, bro, it's nothing to hate about, man. He's a humble, he's a humble kid, respectful. He respects the sport. Obviously he's not here disrespecting Pacquiao. Oh, I'ma fuck you up. You an old motherfucker. He's there like, yo, this is a legend I'm fighting. Because if it was some other fighters, they will be disrespecting Pacquiao. Oh, this motherfucker think he gonna come here and beat me. I'ma knock him. Man, so shout to those fighters, man. I'm always gonna lean on the side of respect. I'm always gonna lean on the side of integrity. I think that's important when it comes to boxing. I'm not saying you can't talk your shit. I'm not saying you can't be arrogant, but there's a difference, Dream, between arrogant and disrespect. And it's easy to tell the difference. And people get mad when the disrespectful fighters get cooked and they get flamed on social media. Bro, you know,
You asked for it. They asked for it. They asked for it. You want to be a heel? You want to be a heel? You gonna get treated like one because in pro wrestling you got the guys that come out with the heel, and that's their job to create boos. Boo, boo. That means you're good at it. So if you want to come with that approach, then that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the boos too.
facts,
Well,
facts, bro.
one thing. Anyway, we're gonna wrap that up. Tune in to the immediate post fight because it's going to be fire. It's going to be two shows. It's going to be the show early on in the day after the Dubois Usyk, and then the show later on that night after the Manny Pacquiao and Jesse Bam Rodriguez fight.
Actually, I didn't even think about it like that. That's a great idea. So we don't got so much in one show. So we'll break it down into two. Yeah, I like that. That makes more sense.
You guys already know, man. Share, like, and subscribe. The Boxing Roundtable.